Hello. Um, I haven't been out in the garage much the last couple of days, weeks, probably like 2 weeks. Um, the last time we were here, I was cleaning up the box, which is, still right here, hasn't changed since I left it. Cleaned up all the sides. I laid out the bottom. I did it in pencil so I can see it. You can probably see it just a little bit. These lines correspond to where I want the box to line up, so when the time comes I can line up those pencil lines that I made, knowing that that's going to be where I want the bottom to be. Good. All right, so now what I want to do right now, these are sharp corners. That's going to look awfully clunky on a box. Looks so much better when it's boxes look so much better when the tops, the edges are rounded over. This one's a little bit different. It's a box on a box, but the top and the bottom should have that round over. It just makes it look so much better. So that's what we're going to do today. I really haven't been terribly inspired. For those who know or don't, my dad is not doing well. He's been in and out of the hospital a couple of times over the last 2 weeks. And it's just really sad for me to see, because it's stuff like this. Like I do this stuff because of, well, I guess maybe not because of him, but he's made so many things over the years as a carpenter and a woodworker himself. So it's like every time I finish something or I do something in the garage, like when the first thought is I'm going to show Dad. And I don't think I'm going to have that opportunity, for much longer. So I haven't really been inspired to be out here. I've been spending a lot more time over at their house, just taking care of them and helping my stepmother out where I can, because she needs the support every bit every much as he does. But that's why I haven't been here in a while. I haven't done. The only thing I did do is I sharpened the planes that I am going to use. You get two. They're both the same size. Just this one is going, and they're both the same sharpness. Just this one has a much wider throat on it, so it's going to take bigger shavings than the other one, and you'll see why we do that in a second. So let's get started. I'm going to get my chair out of the way. All right, so first things first, like I say, I can see that, and I don't really have anything in mind in terms of sizing. Probably going to go about half the width. I'm going to use my finger as kind of a guide. So, and what I don't want is for the round over to go under where that's going to be. So the round over has got to end before the box comes up. And that's another reason why I want these lines on here, so that way I know when I'm rounding it over that I can't cross that line. So I'm just going to come about maybe a third to halfway, and I'm going to just draw lines all the way around using my finger kind of as a guide. And this is it's not crucial for it to be exact. This is a case where close enough will be good. You do want it to look good for aesthetic value, but it will work. It'll round it over. It'll look pretty. And again, I'm pretty sure you can't see these. Oops, I did that one. You can't see these lines, but I can. And I promise you now, I will work to these lines, and that gives me something to shoot for. If you look here, this corner is chipped out, and I'm not. I think I said at one point I'm not too worried about that, because we're going to round it over anyway. I'm going to get rid of it. So this is how I would do it. We're going to start going to start with the end grain because we always start with the end grain. Let's turn that a little bit so we get a better view. You always start with the end grain because there's a chance that this side will blow out even more. And if that's the case, then when I do the long edges, that will then fix it. Got my oil in a can oiler, a rag in a can oiler. Sorry, that's just going to get rid of friction. And I have this pretty high up from where I normally would be working on it. And that's so I can get the plane in there. Actually, you know what? I'm even going to raise it up a little bit more. There we go. So this plane I want to be a little bit, I want it set a little bit deep. So I'm running that through it. I don't know if you can tell. I'm trying to get a 45-degree bevel in here. So I'm holding it 45, but I'm also 45 degrees in this way, so that way when the blade makes the cut, it's cutting up on that, and that's going to help prevent tearing. I'm not going to completely get rid of it, just going to make it less so. And I'm going to take even a bigger shave. Like over here, I can tell right now that that's getting deeper than here, so I'm going to kind of correct it a little bit. And I'm pretty close to my lines, not quite there yet. And then as I get there, so now what I'm going to do, now that I haven't quite touched the line, I'm getting close. I'm going to drop my hand, I'm going to drop it again, and then I'm going to start rounding it over. And that created kind of a half moon. I'm going to do the same thing from this side. I'm just going to do it this way because I find this more comfortable. Can you hear that? That's when the plane comes back and hitting that broken edge. It's kind of breaking off a little bit. And the middle needs a little bit more. Okay. Now we're looking on the top. All right, so I'm going to drop my hand a little bit, and then I'm going to come up. Okay. And, ooh. Not 100% liking the way that looks, but I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use that's a much finer shaving. That's going to take off some of the flat spots. Oop, and that is breaking off. Let's come from this side. Oh, look, it's a little bit askew, not terrible. I'm going to use some 180 grit sandpaper. And that's feeling pretty good. So I've got one edge kind of rounded over, in the bottom I don't have to worry too much about how deep I go because the top is, the box is going to be at the top. That's really all I have to worry about. I don't want to go under the top. Got a little bit close on that side, but not bad. I'm going to go to the other end grain. This is you're looking at the bottom. So again, just going to get a nice 45-degree chamfer. We're getting close to the line. And then let's do this side. Get that 45-degree chamfer again. All right. And then now what I'm going to do, so that's about 45. I'm going to drop my hand about halfway down. So, 22 and a half. I'm not really, I'm not too fussy about it. Once I'm happy, I'm going to drop my hand again and then start raising it back up. And do the same thing over here. And that's creating a round over or a bull nose. Now I said that's the plane that's set heavily. I'm going to use the other one to kind of refine that, and the shavings off of here are going to be much finer. Could also do this with a spoke shave. I find it a little bit more difficult, but this works perfectly fine. feels buttery. But this will help get rid of all the facets, the little straight edge. That's, you got a flat surface on there. That's leaving flats on the car. So it's not a smooth curve. It's that. This takes it. Again, this is the same piece of sandpaper that I've used so far on the whole box. The good thing about hand tool woodworking is you hardly use sandpaper. Get rid of some of the dust. So now I've got the two ends, and like I said, this end was damaged. The other three look good. Now I've got to worry about the grain direction. I think I have it right, but we'll find out. And I no longer have to skew the plane. As a matter of fact, I'm going to want to not skew the plane. I want the back of the plane, the sole, to ride along here, and that's going to help keep a more consistent cut. That's making a nice cut. And I'm having trouble seeing the line. There we go. So I wasn't quite at 45 degrees. That's looking good. So I'm going to drop my hand, drop it again, and then work my way up. Do the same thing over here. And the speed, it helps build a rhythm. It keeps my body in the same position. And that looks good. So we're going to come down. Okay. So you can see here, this it's not fully, the tear out's not fully gone, but it's also not really noticeable. And I haven't looked yet, but if it's done right, the corners that are now there should be mitered. So let's have a look. Yeah, I can take that down, but that corner, yeah, that miter between the two edges is looking pretty good. I am gonna finagle this end just a little bit more to hide some of that blowout. All right, not perfect, but again, it's looking good. Put that with the sandpaper. Send some of that out. Yeah, there it goes. Now, off camera, I may hit that with a little bit of a scraper in order just to finagle it, make it look better. So we got 3 corners, and now I'm gonna raise that up just a bit. Good. And let's do this last one. This is the back. Right now you're looking at the front, or the top of the bottom. This is the side. That's what's going to be on the inside of the bottom. So again, I don't want to go too far down because I don't want to get in the way. I still have a ways to go. Good. Probably even take a bigger cut, but we're already there. And all right. So got my hand. Not really liking. Oh, there's a big flat spot there, but we will clean that up here. All right, so right here, it's a bit flat still, so I'm going to work to round that over more. And even it out with these longer strokes. Now, like looking at it from the side, I can see that that's not perfect. I got it more pronounced on the front side than the back. Okay. Okay. So now, when I put it on here, kind of sanded out some of my lines, but I also got the lines on the inside that I can work to. Good, good, good. That's on there. And I can see the pencil line there. All right, so right now, that's how it looks. So it just adds a little something, that way the corners are less likely to get damaged. I'll spend a little time cleaning. There's really no tear out except for that one corner. I may hit out the scraper just to make it look pretty. But that's rounding over. You do that over bookshelves, the shelving parts of it. You do that on the bottom, and we'll do it to the top as well. The top's going to be a little bit different, and it makes it a lot easier to grab that piece. Doesn't get caught on anything. Yeah, nice and easy. I don't have to worry about a router table with spinning blades at 3,000 revolutions per minute, trying to run that small thin piece through. Comes out nice and just it's good. It's a good way of doing it. And that's this video is what, 17 minutes long. I've been talking. I had about a 2-minute intro, so to do that one piece without the talking would have taken me less than 10 minutes if I was just doing that. Got some exercise. I can feel I'm out of breath from talking and from doing that work. But this piece is 98% ready to be glued onto the box, which is really the next step. And I can't fit the drawer until the bottom is on there. And so the drawer will be coming up soon. There will also be a bottom, so they got the drawer's got to fit. That will be the top of the drawer. There will be a bottom in there, so that way I can put things on top, and then there'll be a hinged lid that'll go on, here. And I'm going to try to set it up in such a way so that way the lid will stop itself from opening up, and I'll show you how that's done when we get there. But thanks for watching, thanks for listening to me, and hopefully it won't be another 2 weeks before I'm back.